Everybody, it's Leero from Leroy Gaming, and in today's Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous video, we're going to be looking at the Lich Mythic Ascension pathway and everything it has to offer for you. This is for the retail version. We're going to show you all the kind of special features, the potential summons and spells you'll have access to, where applicable, especially with summons. I'll make sure to show them to you what they look like in game. That way, you can be as informed as possible when it comes to choosing the pathway that is right for you. Now, as always, if you enjoy this content, make sure to like, subscribe, slam that notification bell to be notified of new videos, as I will have a variety of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous videos coming up in the next couple of days. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in, guys, and take a look at what the Lich Mythic Pathway and Ascension have to offer for you. So before we get started, I do want to point out something very important before we look at the actual mythic pathway that we're going to feature today. Pretty late in the progression, there will be a quest-related option to get your final transformation. Now, not everybody's going to complete this. And I want to point this out because when we look at the actual mythic abilities and features, it is not going to be listed in the system. Because again, some people will never even get it. You will have to kind of stay in alignment. So if you got kind of a evil pathway or a lawful pathway, you're going to need to kind of make decisions that are in line with that. And if you do, you're going to look really, really cool. You're going to transform into a demon or kind of like an angel figure, etc. And then you're also going to get some nice buffs from it. So again, when we look at this video today, do note that portion will not be shown. Unfortunately, even though this is the release version, my channel was not big enough to get kind of early access, so I'm kind of having to start out with everybody else. But note, everything else should be shown and featured within this video. All right, guys, it's time to look at the overview for the Big Daddy Lich Mythic Pathway. The ultimate ruler of undeath, the Lich is a being who has transcended the narrow confines of life itself. Powerful beyond imagining, the Lich can create limitless hordes of undead to remake the world to fit their vision. So, key element is the Skeletal Champion. You get a powerful undead minion, a Skeletal Champion. It will become more powerful as you gain new mythic ranks. Just like your companion, this Skeletal Champion can use any items and also has all the weapon proficiencies. Being undead, it is also subject to all bonuses undead get being under the command of the Mythic Lich. And you will also get unique Lich powers. I want to also point out, story-wise, within the game, you will get opportunities to basically find new undead hero replacements, I guess you could say. I don't want to spoil it too much, but in theory, if you want to rock with the undead and don't want to be stuck with, some weak, pathetic living companions, well, you will have the opportunity to replace them if you so wish to. So that is something to look forward to. Now, an important note when it comes to Mythic levels 1 and 2. During these first 2 levels, you're going to be picking one of the Mythic hero options. There's 6 of them. If you haven't seen my video on Mythic hero options, I recommend you check it out. It's going to pop up in a link above, and it will also be linked in the description. I chose Dance Macabre because this obviously fits the Lich theme, but you can choose whatever you want for the first 2 levels. Now let's take a look what we get at Mythic level 3 when we get to choose the Lich pathway. So we're going to get Summon Fallen. So this ability summons a Fallen for 1 minute. You're going to get your first unique Lich power, and we will take a look at all those in a moment. You will also get your unique Skeletal Champion. So this is a scaling champion. You're going to get to choose what class it is, which is awesome, as you're going to see here. Possible selections, kind of like a ranger subclass or class. You make him assassin, tanky, or kind of a fighter. It's going to be really, really cool. And we'll look at this as we go on. And then you also do get a mythic ability. Now, if you have not checked out my video on all the mythic abilities in the game, I highly recommend you check it out. It's going to be linked above and also in the description below. As we go through this guide, to kind of make this guide go a little quicker because it's going to be already really long, I'm just going to randomly pick mythic abilities for the sake of going over this, but you can take a look at all the options available in that video as stated. Now, when you choose the Mythic Lich pathway, you will also get to choose a Mythic Spellbook of the Lich. What this really means is that if you're not a caster already, you will get the ability to cast spells as a Lich. So for example, my test character here is a fighter. Normally would not get to cast spells, but here it's going to let us basically select a Mythic spellbook so that you can, even as a martial class, cast magic. And of course, if you already are a caster, you're basically going to have a second separate spellbook, or you can kind of incorporate it into your current one, as you can see in the descriptor here. So it does not matter whether you're a caster prior to choosing. Next, we look at our Skeletal Champion, and there's going to be 4 versions you can choose from. This is a permanent change. So there's Skeletal Assassin. You get a powerful undead minion. A Skeletal Champion that specializes in fast attacks with 2 weapons. It will become more powerful as you gain new mythic ranks, just like your companions. This Skeletal Champion can use any item and also has all the weapon proficiencies. Being undead, also subject to all the bonuses undead get being under the command of the Mythic Lich. Or you can get a Skeletal Executioner. This champion specializes in devastating attacks of 2-handed weapons. There's a Skeletal Marksman. It specializes in archery. And a Skeletal Vanguard. It specializes in defense. So we're going to go ahead and pick the Assassin in our example. Now next you get to pick one of the Lich powers. We're going to go over every single one right now. So there is Deadly Magic, up to per 3 rounds per Lich can, wow, okay, the wording is bad here. Up to per 3 rounds per day, the Lich can make all spells he casts to ignore spell resistance and spell immunity. So he can just basically, up to 3 times a day, up to 3 rounds a day, he can make your Lich spells ignore spell resistance and spell immunities. Any creature affected by such spell can't cast spells for 1d3 plus 1 rounds. Death of Elements. The Lich can change any elemental damage to negative energy, no matter what the source of the elemental damage is. So this is important. Let's say you had like a fire spell, and you're fighting somebody that has, it's immune to fire or has high fire resistance. Well, you can turn this into negative energy. Finding negative energy resistance, it's much more rare than like the common element resistances. The Lich can also activate consuming elements for 1 round per 2 mythic ranks, turning all incoming elemental damage into negative energy. And that's important, as negative energy will heal undead. So if you get a fireball heading your way, you activate this, all of a sudden you get healed by the fireball that is now doing negative energy. Death Rush. Whenever the Lich charges or uses any combat maneuver on a successful hit or maneuver, the enemy suffers 1d6 points of damage per Lich's mythic rate as their bonus shake from the impact. Their bones, shake from the impact. I do want to also point out, you're going to notice there's going to be various powers. Some are going to be more melee-centric, some caster-centric. So just because when a lot of people imagine the Lich, they think of a caster, you could also go like an Arthas build. It could be like a melee kind of dominating Lich, kind of like a Death Knight almost, that has his summons and has spells, but is very, very melee focused. I will definitely be making a build like that, but just note that you're going to see a nice variety here. There's also Decaying Touch. All Lich's natural attacks, including ones he makes in a polymorph form, as well as melee touch attacks and unarmed attacks, deal 1d6 plus mythic rank points of unholy damage as the target's flesh rot. Decaying Monk, anyone? The affected creature also suffers 1 point of ability damage to strength with each hit. So imagine like having a monk with like 7 attacks just going bonkers on somebody, and you're just, they're losing 7 strength per round. It's nuts. Plant creatures take 2d6 plus mythic rank points of unholy damage. Yeah, so you're making those poor old plants decay. All the tree huggers in the world are going to be so sad. Eclipse Chill. For 3 rounds per day, Lich can imbue all spells he casts with the power of the Eclipse Chill. Creatures affected by such spells must pass a Fortitude saving throw. DC is 10 plus Intelligence modifier plus Lich's mythic rank, or become blinded and suffer 2d8 plus mythic rank cold damage, becoming vulnerable to cold and negative energy until the end of the combat. Now, this doesn't look like the primary stat changes on this for the DC save, so obviously you want to make sure you're an intelligence-based caster if you're going to be picking this up. Otherwise, that DC is not going to be very high. Fear Control. Lich gains a +4 profane bonus to attack and a +1 profane bonus per mythic rank to damage against frightened creatures or ones under any mind affecting control. So this is very niche, but I do want to point out that a profane bonus is very rare. So it's going to stack with, size bonuses, alchemical bonuses, enhancement bonuses, etc. All these morale bonuses, luck bonuses, whatever it may be to attack, it will stack on top of it. Additionally, all enemies within 10 feet of the Lich must make a will saving throw. DC is 10 plus double the mythic rank, or become shaken until the end of the combat. A successful save gives them immunity for 24 hours. The fact that it's shaken for the end of the combat, and this will actually end up being a pretty high DC eventually, not bad. Situational as far as the first part, but very, very good, especially if you can, frighten or mind control or alter somebody's mind state. Indestructible Bones. Lich gains a DR10/dash. So that's the first 10 damage of any type of damage gets blocked. And again, that /dash cannot be bypassed by any normal means. Whenever an enemy lands a hit on the Lich, that enemy becomes cursed with decaying muscles. Under this effect, the enemy suffers a 2 penalty to attack rolls until the end of the combat. Effects from multiple applications of this ability don't stack, unfortunately. Magic Devourer. Lich gains spell resistance 25 plus mythic rank. That is no joke. Whenever an enemy fails a check made to overcome the Lich's spell resistance, the next spell Lich would cast or next kinetic blast becomes quickened, as though using a quicken spell feat or quicken metakinesis. Negative Energy Master. Whenever the Lich activates his ability, all his Kineticist, Blast, and Alchemist bombs deal an additional 1d6 negative energy damage, plus 1 point per mythic rank, and inflicts a negative level upon the target. The negative level is probably the biggest factor here. So the damage is nice. Negative energy is great. Just make sure you don't use it against undead enemies because you'll heal them. But losing a level is pretty nasty. Tainted Sneak Attack. Whenever the Lich lands a successful sneak attack, enemy must pass Fortitude saving throw. DC is 10 plus Intelligence modifier plus mythic rank, or become tainted. The tainted creature is vulnerable to all weapon and elemental damage, as well as suffers a -2 penalty on all attack rolls and weapon damage rolls until the end of combat. Additionally, the Lich's sneak attack damage is increased by 1d6. So there we go, Assassin Liches. This is for you. Undead Mount. Lich grants his animal companion all undead traits as well as DR10 good and spell resistance 15. This can be important because this makes your pet undead, and so your negative energy abilities will heal him instead of damaging him. Do note that there is a class for companion like pets when you get them that can make them undead already. This is mainly if you have like a bulwark pet, aggressive pet, one of the other pet classes that is not undead yet. This will turn them undead, and of course already has some nice damage reduction and spell resistance on top of it. Then we have Weapon of Death. Lich can enchant items he wears with Bane Living and nullifying special abilities. If a creature is killed with the Weapon of Death, all creatures in a 15-foot radius suffer a penalty on caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance equal to twice the Lich's mythic rank until the end of combat. So again, this is a way where your melee killing is now debuffing enemies. So all of a sudden, we're affecting how the spellcasting side of combat is working as well. So nice little synergy across casting and melee, or it could be ranged combat technique. And finally, we have Withering Life. When a living creature takes damage from a spell cast by a lich, that creature also takes 1 point of damage to strength, dexterity, constitution, or 1 point of damage to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Lich can choose which ability scores will be affected. So this is going to be, as you can see, you're going to get 2 different abilities that you can toggle, either Withering Life, mental, or physical. This is especially powerful, as you can imagine, when you have AoE spells where you can target a bunch of enemies and really just debuff them like crazy. And here's your Skeletal Assassin. Just wanted to show him off. Again, you can control them directly. They all look a little different. And as mentioned, they come with some weapons. So he comes with a Scimitar +3 and a Kukri +3, but you can equip them with a bunch of gear. And again, they look really, really cool. They have unique portraits, kind of a unique look baseline. So gonna customize, and this one in particular has really good strength index. So everything you would need for any type of assassin. And obviously the different companions are gonna have different stats. And I also wanted to show you guys the beginning gear and stats for the other potential companion skeleton. So here's the Executioner. He's got 18 strength, 18 dex, but they also give him 14 charisma and starts with a Earthbreaker. And here are the stats on a Skeletal Marksman. So for him, he's got 10 strength, 22 dex, 9 wisdom, 16 charisma, 10 intelligence, and starts with a composite longbow +3. And finally, we have the Skeletal Vanguard. So it comes with 16 strength, 14 dexterity, 20 charisma. Now, for those that don't know, the reason there's no constitution and they have varying levels of charisma is basically the health stat for undead. So 20 charisma just means they're going to have the most possible health. He comes with a longsword +3 and a tower shield +3 to begin with. And of course, you have Channel Negative Energy. So here's the Heal Undead version. Got that cool, unique look. And here's how Summon Fallen looks like. So there you go. Looks like a dead knight of sorts. All right, now moving on to level 4 of the Lich progression. We're going to get Summon Plague Beast Mastodon. You're going to get a Mythic Feat. And again, if you haven't watched my Mythic Feat video, I definitely recommend you check it out. I go over every single Mythic Feat that was added to the game. You can check out the link above, and also it's going to be in the description below. Again, we will be picking random ones. Keep this video moving. And then we get Lord Beyond the Grave. You can command undead at will. All undead under your command within 50 feet of your gain a bonus to their strength, dexterity, and charisma equal to half your mythic rank +1. Your attacks now ignore damage reduction except N/dash. So remember, this will impact your companion that you already have, your skeletal companion. If you animate dead or any other undead creatures under your command will get this buff. So it's very, very influential. And then we're going to get a skeletal upgrade, and we'll take a look at all of those right now. Now you're going to get a variety of skeletal upgrades. Remember, we use the assassin as a baseline. But for example, you can get the Skeletal Barbarian 1. You get the Barbarian's Rage ability and fast movement, as well as 2 rage powers of your choice. You can choose a Skeletal Bard, So the Skeletal Champion gets Dirge of Doom, Lingering Performance, as well as the following minor bardic spells. Level 1, Cause Fear, Ear-Piercing Scream, Touch of Gracelessness, Vanish, and Feather Step. Level 2, Blindness, Scare, Mirror Image, Heroism, Soundburst. Level 3, Crushing Despair, Haste, Confusion, and Slow. And level 4, Freedom of Movement and Dominate Person. So pretty solid spell selection. You could also turn him into Skeletal Cleric. The Skeletal Champion gets Channel Negative Energy using its hit die instead of Cleric class for calculations. Domain of Death and Destruction, and all spells from the Cleric list. So quite literally, I mean, you could combo this with the Vanguard or even Assassin, or you could get extra. You basically have an extra healer. Skeletal Fighter 1. The Skeletal Champion gets an additional bonus combat feat, armor training, weapon training, and its BAB now equals its full HD instead of the regular 3-4 hit die. Because remember, right now, if you are playing any version that does not have full hit die format, this is going to be a nice upgrade. And then you have Skeletal Inquisitor. The Skeletal Champion gets Inquisitor Judgment twice per day, Bane Teamwork. And here you can basically pick from any of these teamwork feats. I'll mouse over them really quickly, but you can pause if you like. Allied Spellcaster, Back to Back, Coordinated Defense, Coordinated Maneuvers, Outflank, Precision Strike, Seize the Moment, Shake It Off, Shield Wall, Shielded Caster, and Tandem Trip. And then you have an option of Skeletal Magus. The Skeletal Champion gets Magus class abilities, such as Arcane Pool, Spell Combat, and the Minor Magus spell, which includes all spells from the Magus list up to level 3. Because we're doing an Assassin here, I'm just going to pick Skeletal Barbarian. That'd be very, very interesting to combo those two. This also lets us show you the rage power options again. You can make any choices here. And again, I do have a separate video that goes over all the Barbarian rage powers. You can find that on my channel. But here they are for you. I'm just going to again kind of mouse over them quickly. Animal Fury, Beast Totem Greater, Beast Totem Lesser, Celestial Totem Greater, Celestial Totem Lesser, Crippling Blow. Also notice that it seems to bypass prerequisites, so you can pick up Celestial Greater right off the bat. You don't have to get the other ones if you don't want. Crippling Blows, Demon Totem Greater, Demon Totem Lesser, Deadly Accuracy, Fearless Rage, Fiend Totem Greater, Fiend Totem Lesser, Guarded Stance, Increased Damage Reduction, Inspire Ferocity, Internal Fortitude, Lethal Accuracy, Lethal Stance, Powerful Stance, Protect Vitals, Reckless Stance, Reflexive Dodge, Renewed Vigor, Rolling Dodge, Scent, Swift Foot, or Wrecking Blows. And as an example, I'm going to pick up Beast Totem Greater because as you can see, pick him up right off the bat if you want. You can do a full attack after a charge. And then want to just pick Inspire Ferocity randomly. But again, you could use any of those two. Now I want to point out that starting back actually with level 3, so last level, you also get access to spells and it's going to grow. So I apologize I didn't go over the lower levels earlier. But you will have gotten the following level 1 spells that connect to the Lich. You get access to Bane, Cause Fear, Doom, Grease, Inflict Light Wounds, Mage Armor, Ray of Enfeeblement, Ray of Sickening, Shield, Sleep, Touch of Gracelessness. Then Tier 2 spells are Blindness, Bone Shaker, Command Undead, False Life, Rigid Touch, Glitter Dust, Hold Animal, Inflict Moderate Wounds, Invisibility, Mirror Image, Pernicious Poison, Pox Pustules, Scare. And then the added tier 3 or level 3 spells from the Lich spellbook are going to be Bestow Curse, Contagion, Corrupted Blood, Crushing Despair, Deep Slumber, Displacement, Fester, Haste, Hold Person, Inflict Serious Wounds, Mastery of Flesh, Overwhelming Grief, Poison, Power from Death, Slow, Spit Venom, Stinking Cloud, and Vampiric Touch. And then we just got the level 4 spells that were just unlocked. And so those are going to be Animate Dead, which is going to be very powerful for the Lich, Bone Shatter, Consume Undead, Death Ward, Enervation, Eyes of the Bodak, False Life Greater, Fear, Greater Invisibility, Ice Storm, Inflict Critical Wounds, Phantasmal Killer, Unholy Blight, and Vampiric Blade. Alright, and now I'll go ahead and show you the summon Plague Beast Mastodon. So it has a unique undead model. Looks nice and disgusting. Looks like something from Game of Thrones, one of the later seasons. There's your White Walker Mastodon. Alright, moving on to level 5. And so at level 5, we're going to get summon. Alright, at level 5 of Lich, you're going to get summon Plague Beast Mastodons. So we're going to get a pair of these, which is going to be nuts. Take up your whole screen. You're going to get Lord of Death. So basically this is interesting. This makes you a leader of a small cult of undead created by his own hands. This is my character's name, Damien, but it's going to be your name there. Became famous as the indomitable commander of the 5th Mendavian Crusade against the Worldwound. Determined to destroy the force of the Abyss at any cost, he ventured past the Lord of Death. For millennia, powerful necromancers have dreamed of a power that could rival the divine. They have created cults in their own names and attracted many followers. Thanks to his legendary powers, Damien has managed to achieve much greater success than the others. He has acquired a talent to bestow divine spells upon his followers. From that moment, the undead created by him needed no other deities to cast spells. So you become a provider, I guess, of the death, evil, strength, and war domains. And I'm guessing, I haven't got to mess around with this, but I'm assuming this is when you bring back people, the undead, to join your side, you can bestow these. You're going to get another mythic ability. You're going to get Dark Rite. So Lich and all his companions in a 30-foot radius cast spells if their cast level was 2 levels higher. Extremely potent. Now we're also going to get access to some new spells. Baleful Polymorph, Cloud Kill, Cone of Cold, Feeble Mind, Cold Monster, Icy Prison, Inflict Wound Mass, Phantasmal Web, Profane Nimbus, Slay Living, Vampiric Shadow Shield, Waves of Fatigue, Racking Ray, Bone Explosion, Deny Death, Exsanguinate, and Repurpose. These are all level 5 spells that you get access to. And here I'm going to go ahead and summon Plague Beast Mastodons. Now, let me see. Yeah, there they are. There's 2 of them. And remember, these are undead, so they're going to benefit from all your buffs for the undead. So, yeah, if 1 wasn't enough, well, here you go. We got 2. All right, we're at level 6 of the Lich now, and you get Summon a Corch. You're going to get a Mythic Feat, and we're adding a new Lich power. So again, we're going to get to pick from any of those Lich powers we saw earlier. You're going to pick one. You're also going to get access to level 6 spells. You're going to get Banshee Blast, Blasphemy, Circle of Death, Cold Ice Strike, Disintegrate, Eye Bite, Fester Mass, Harm, Plague Storm, Primal Regression, Umbral Strike, Undeath to Death, Create Undead, which is awesome. Summons a Grave Knight or a Guardian Armor. Bone Shield, False Grace, Siphon Life, and Siphon Time. Now let's see how Summon Ekork looks. Now that looks like a nice formal abomination. Holy moly. That looks amazing. Alright, at level 7, you're going to get Summon Nightshade Nightcrawler and a mythic ability of your choice. We're also going to get access to level 7 spells, including Destruction, Finger of Death, Ice Body, Inflict Serious Wounds Mass, Insanity, Poison Breath, Coward Blind, Waves of Exhaustion, Blessing of Unlife, Feast the Blood, and Restore Undead. And here's what Summon Nightshade Nightcrawler looks like. Okay, that is officially the biggest summon I have seen so far in the game. That is ridiculously big. Wow. And very, very cool. Holy moly. Is it considered undead? I can't. Unfortunately, the inspect a creature feature does not work for this. But yeah, that thing is ridiculous. Now, as we look at level 8, I do want to kind of make a quick comment. You may think like, oh, wasn't level 7 a little like bare bone, for example, some of these levels? This is a little deceiving because, remember, you're getting this feature that I believe you unlock with this portion right here back on level 5, where you're going to be able to kind of create and manipulate, basically brand new undead companions. On top of it, and this is a feature that I mentioned earlier in the video, there is an ultimate transformation questline that you're going to be getting probably around the time you're getting to level 7 or 8-ish. And if you complete that questline, you're going to basically have a physical transformation. It's going to add basically extra buffs and bonuses, and it's going to help kind of make this a little bit more meaty. So this is obviously the natural progression, but I don't want you to take a look and say, oh, wow, this seems a little underwhelming, this section right here. And there's definitely a little bit more behind this once you unlock that transformation and follow the specific Lich quest line. Now, when it comes to the baseline progression, though, you're going to be getting another skeleton upgrade selection. You're going to get Summon Nightshade, Nightcrawler, and Ekork, so both of them at the same time. And you're going to get another mythic feat. Now, this is a second upgrade. So the first one, for example, in my example, we chose Barbarian. So you may want to double down on making your skeletal companion even more physical. For example, like Skeletal Fighter would be a natural one, and I'll probably use that as an option. But you could also create him a combat cleric. So you're talking about like an assassin that has barbarian abilities and clerical spells. So you can get really, really creative with these options. And I'm just going to choose this one as an example. And then, as noted in the features earlier, the unique thing for choosing the fighter on top of the BAB being full, you also get to choose a bonus combat feat here. So you get full access to basically all of them. So pick whatever you want. Again, I'm just going to randomly pick one here, only keep this going and moving. And then you get to choose basically, let's see a weapon specialization looks like. So we'll pick, like Faster Sword as an example here. You're also going to get new spells. So we get access to level 8 spells: Bestow Curse Greater, Death Clutch, Frightful Aspect, Horde Wilting, Inflict Critical Wounds Mass, Polar Ray, Power Word Stun, Soul Reaver, Unholy Aura, Domain of the Hungry Flesh, and Embrace of Death. Summon works and how it looks like. So there you go. Almost looks like it's riding him. So you get that Flesh Abomination, the Ekork, and you get the Insane Nightshade Nightcrawler. What a combination. Very, very cool summon combo at this level. All right, now on to level 9, where you're going to get Summon Ravener Dragon. You're going to get an additional Lich power, as well as a mythic ability. And again, the Lich powers are any of the ones that we went over earlier in the video, so just pick whichever one works for you. And then you will get finally access to level 9 spells, Energy Drain, Old Monster Mass, Icy Prison Mass, Polar Midnight, Power Word Kill, Wail of the Banshee, Weird, Corrupt Magic, Play for Purpose, and Negative Eruption. Alright, and let's take a look at the Summon Ravener Dragon summon. Oh, yes. Alright. Has somebody been playing World of Warcraft a little too much? This is like totally a World of Warcraft Undead Dragon. This is an amazing model. So yeah, Lich King build, here I come, for sure. Awesome, awesome looking summon. Alright, now we have level 10, which again on paper looks a little underwhelming. Where it's just mythic feat. But because again, I haven't been able to play this to mythic level 10 yet, I have a feeling there's story-based, quest-based benefits for 10. But baseline, before anything else impacts it, the main thing you start with is going to be a mythic feat. And that's all that it's going to give you right now. So that right there is the Mythic Lich progression. And as mentioned a couple times during this video, remember, there's going to be some really impactful features when it comes to being able to basically replace your party if you want to have a bunch of undead characters that you can manipulate and impact. So you could quite literally have a Lich army and a undead party if you wish. So very, very cool. This is a playthrough that I can't wait to complete myself. From what I've experienced with it so far, it's really, really fun, very kind of unique. Definitely check it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did find it helpful, remember, hit a like, subscribe, smash that notification button. If you want to interact with me, do check me out when I stream at twitch.tv/LeeroyGamingStream. You can find the link to my schedule in the description below as well. If you want to support the channel to the next level, on top of following me there and watching these videos, feel free to check out my merch store. Got some cool t-shirts, swag, and other cool goodies themed around the channel. All those proceeds do go to help create more content here on a regular basis. That being said, guys, thank you so much, and I will make sure to see you guys in the next video.